Painting is the most beautiful of all the arts. In a single glance, our souls can be flooded with the most profound reflections. To judge a book, you must be intelligent and well-educated. To judge painting and music, you need, in addition to possessing intelligence and artistic knowledge, special feelings which are not in everyone's nature. In a word, you must be born an artist, and though many are called, few are chosen. Today my trip to Denmark is settled. What am I supposed to do? I haven't got a penny to my name. Love of my art is preoccupying me too much for me to be a good employee in the business world where dreamers are of no use. And on the other hand, I have too large a family and a wife incapable of living in poverty. So I cannot embark on a career as an artist unless I can be certain that our needs can be met. I absolutely have to make a living as a painter. You ask whether we are earning any money. My wife earns 60 francs per month from her teaching, while I am still waiting for my first payment. I am not very good at living frugally, so you will understand why my hair is turning grey. Despite all this, I am committed more passionately than ever to the artistic struggle. I am going to be known everywhere in Copenhagen. For friends, I have many young painters, and for enemies, I have the old fossils and other incompetents who fear me like the plague. In my most recent work, I'm trying to achieve great simplicity, yet strong colour division. I realise that great coloristic accuracy should produce all this. But I need practice, and as yet I've had very little compared to all of you. We'll see later on. My wife asks me to send her best wishes to yours. She's not very pleasant at the moment. Poverty has completely soured her, and I'm getting all the blame. Of course, in the eyes of the family, I am a monster not to be earning money. I'm beginning to get fed up with it all, and I'm thinking of abandoning everything to come to Paris. I would be free there. Duty. Let anyone put himself in my place. I managed to find the money for my journey to Brittany, and am living here on credit. What a shame we didn't try and live here before. We pay 65 francs a month for board and lodging. You imagine we are isolated? Not in the least. There are painters winter and summer, English, American, and others. My painting arouses much discussion, and I must say, finds a pretty favourable welcome among the Americans. This is some hope for the future. I am living in silent contemplation of nature, devoting myself entirely to my art. Without that, there is no salvation, and it is the best means of keeping physical pain at bay. In that way, I acquire the strength to live without too much bitterness for my fellows. I like Brittany. I find a certain wildness and primitiveness here. When my clogs resound on this granite soil, I hear the dull, matte, powerful tone I'm looking for in my painting. I have just painted a religious picture, very badly done, but it interested me, and I like it. A group of Breton women are praying, their costumes very intense black, the coiffes very luminous yellowy white. An apple tree cuts across the canvas, dark purple with its foliage drawn in masses like emerald green clouds, the ground pure vermilion. The angel is dressed in ultramarine blue and Jacob in bottle green. I think I have achieved in the figures a great simplicity, rustic and superstitious, the whole thing very severe. I wanted to give it to the church of Pont-Aven. Naturally, they don't want it. You know that I have Indian blood, Inca blood in me, and that it's reflected in everything I do. It's the basis of my personality, and with it I try to confront rotten civilization with something more natural, based on savagery. Yes, you are right to want painting to have a colouring evocative of poetic ideas, and in that sense, I agree with you. But I find everything poetic, and it is in the deepest recesses of my heart that are sometimes mysterious that I glimpse poetry. Forms and colours, brought into harmony, produce poetry by themselves. A hint: don't paint too much direct from nature. Art is an abstraction. Study nature, then brood on it, and treasure the creation which will result, which is the only way to ascend towards God, to create like our divine master. I feel the need to explain my portrait because I don't think I've achieved what I set out to do. The guise of an ill-dressed, powerful outlaw. The face is coloured by a rush of blood, and the feverish tones surrounding the eyes suggest the fiery lava that inflames the souls of us painters. The yellow floral background, like the wallpaper in a young girl's bedroom, signifies our artistic purity. And this Jean Valjean, oppressed by society and placed outside of the law, with his love and his strength, does he not symbolize the plight of the Impressionist today? I know I will be understood less and less, but one should always be faithful to one's nature. Be an Impressionist to the bitter end and be afraid of nothing. Mark this well, a wind is blowing among artists which is all in my favour. For most people I shall be an enigma. For a few I shall be a poet, and sooner or later merit will have its way. Degas is buying from me that of the 2 Breton women at Aven. This is a handsome compliment to me. Theo hopes to sell all my pictures. If I have this luck, I shall go to Martinique. I am positive that I can do good work there. I am inclined to agree with Vincent. The future is to the painters of the tropics, which have not yet been painted. Novelty is essential to stimulate the stupid buying public. I am at Arles, quite out of my element, so petty and shabby do I find the scenery and the people. Vincent and I do not find ourselves in general agreement. He is romantic, while I am rather inclined towards a primitive state. He likes my paintings very much, but while I am doing them, he always finds that I'm doing this or that wrong. I would be obliged if you could send me part of the money from the sale of the paintings. All things considered, I find myself compelled to return to Paris. Vincent and I find it absolutely impossible to live peacefully in each other's company. Our temperaments are incompatible, and we both need peace and quiet in order to work. He is a remarkable man, of great intelligence, for whom I have a high regard, and whom I am sorry to leave. However, I repeat, it is essential. Dehan and I have established ourselves in a place where we can work in peace. I found a large house right by the sea. We look straight down over an immense seascape. The storms are magnificent, and we paint them directly from the studio. Everything here is harsh, like the Breton language, and impenetrable. Seeing this every day fills me with a sensation of struggle for survival, of melancholy, and acquiescence in implacable laws. I'm attempting to put this sensation down on canvas, not by chance, but quite deliberately. At the moment, I'm doing a size 50 canvas, women gathering seaweed along the seashore. The seaweed they are gathering is reddish ochre in colour. The sand is pink, not yellow. The sea is dark. All this is perhaps mannered, but what is natural in art? In art, truth is what a person feels in the state of mind he happens to be in. Yes, you have not heard from me for over 6 months, but it is more than 6 months since I received news of the children. You want my news? I am in a fisherman's inn at the seaside. I live here like a peasant and work every day in canvas trousers. I spend £1 a day on food and 2p on tobacco, so no one can say I am extravagant. Meanwhile, I am exhibiting my works in Paris, and they are creating a great sensation. But it is difficult to sell them. When this is going to happen, I cannot tell you. But what I can tell you is that today I am one of the artists who aroused the greatest astonishment. Your disconsolate letter has reached an equally dismal countryside. I own myself beaten, by events, by men, by the family. Nothing remains from all my efforts this year but the cries of protest from Paris, which come and discourage me here to such a degree that I dare not paint any more, and can only drag my old body about on the seashore of Le Pouldu in the bleak north wind. Since January last, my sales have totaled 92 francs. At the age of 42, to live on that, buy colours and materials, it's enough to put the staunchest soul off his stride. I can't imagine who told you that I go for walks on the beach with my disciples. As for disciples, there is Dahan, who goes off to work on his own, and Filige, who works indoors. I go about as a savage, with long hair and do nothing. I haven't even brought colours or a palette. I've cut some arrows and I practice shooting them on the sands like they did at Buffalo Bill's. So there you have your so-called Jesus Christ. There are moments when I ask myself whether I wouldn't do better to bash my brains in. You must admit, it's enough to make one give up in despair. I have never been so discouraged as I am at present. My mind is made up. Soon I shall go to Tahiti, a small island in Oceania where material life can be lived without money. There, I want to forget all the bad things of the past and die unbeknownst to people here, free to paint without any concern for glory. I judge that my art is only a seedling thus far, and out there I hope to cultivate it for my own pleasure in its primitive and savage state. Here, Gauguin is finished, and nothing more will be seen of him. I will not think of death, but on the contrary, I shall dream of eternal life.